Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Rabbana la tu'akhizna in nasina aw akhtana. Rabbana wa la tahmil alayna isran kama hamaltahu ala allazina min qablina. Rabbana wa la tuhammilna ma la taqata lana bih. Wa'fu anna waghfir lana warhamna anta maulana wansurna ala al-qawmil kafirin. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli waj'al li waziran min ahli Haruna akhi ushdud bihi azri washriku fi amri kay nusabbihaka katsira wa nazkuraka katsira innaka kunta bina basira. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Welcome everyone. Inshallah, we will continue with the topic from the Fruits of Belief, which is the 11th ray, 11th topic, page 277. A very important pillar of belief, which is the belief in angels, and how the author is sharing how that is a fruit, that fruits of belief. So one of the pillars, he said, is the pillar of belief in the angels. So I think it's a good opportunity to partake and taste that fruit metaphorically, inshallah, for our spirit and souls to benefit from living with the awareness of the angels and in our feelings and intellect, our reasoning, see that the meaningful side of creation connects. So the connecting aspect with our Lord are the angels. So a necessary component to get in touch with our Lord. This universe, if there's no angelic side to the universe, there's no way we could really connect with our Lord. So angels are a necessary creation in terms of how we are able to get in touch to recognizing or living with the awareness of an absolute creator. So inshallah, we will continue with how the author shared with another aspect of the angelic or angels as he is sharing his experiences with us. So I'm going to read the second paragraph again, just so we are on the same page. Everyone's most precious possession, and the one over which they most tremble, is their spirit. So spirit is something that, do we feel that it is the most precious possession? Because that's the spirit is breathed into the material body of the human being. So that's how we all become activated in a way, using whatever comes with it. Along with it, all the tools are there, the eyes, but they don't function without the spirit or the power of sight or hearing. The ears are there materially, but they have to function with the power of hearing. Same with the taste, the tongue material. Tongue is there, but has to function with the power of taste. So I felt sure that to surrender it to a strong and trustworthy hand. So surrender the spirit to a strong and trustworthy hand, thereby preserving the spirit from being lost and annihilated and from aimlessness. Afforded a profound joy. Then the angels who record men's actions came to mind. I saw that they yielded numerous sweet fruits like the previous one. So we discussed that last time, so we'll continue with the next one. But everyone is free to share any comments or any thoughts, questions on anything here. So another, everyone tries earnestly to preserve through writing, poetry, or even the cinema, a worthwhile saying or deed, in order to immortalize it. So our deeds, whatever the things we are proud of, we are happy about, we want it to be preserved. All the things we enjoy, we want it to be preserved. Just like poetry, their feelings, their thoughts are shared, or the movies, experiences that are shared. They want them to be displayed to the public. They want them to be known. So as if they can be living, immortalizing it in a way. I mean, the truth must be always living. We should know that, or we should feel that. Particularly if the deeds produce everlasting fruits in paradise. So everlasting pleasure, which is paradise, is always something every human being is looking for. They are even more anxious to preserve them. The recording angels hovering over men's shoulders so that they may show their deeds. The recording angels hovering over men's shoulders so that they may show their deeds in eternal vistas. So the angels will show the human beings' deeds in eternal vistas. So maybe we can talk about what that means. And continually gain their owner's reward. And continually gain their owner's reward. So the angels hovering over men's shoulders so that they may show their deeds in eternal, so human beings' deeds in eternal vistas, and continually gain their owner's reward. So because of whatever our learning was in this world, all the deeds that we do, everything we do is in the absolute knowledge of the one who is running, organizing, arranging this whole universe. So this, so the author said, he says, seems so agreeable to me, I cannot describe it. Now, what this feeling is of how the living with the angels in every aspect that we're engaged with right now, we're discussing in this room, virtual room, physical room. And here also we can see that there are, I mean, we can use our, based on the existence of each and everything here, which see the meaningful side of it, meaningful aspect of it. And see, yeah, they are not, this is not for no reason, no purpose. Nothing is here purposeless. Although it's going, it's passing, the moments are going, but then they are definitely not going to waste. So how do we make them not go to waste? So I'll pause here if anybody wants to share anything before I go into his other aspect of description. So far, any thoughts by anyone? So everlasting fruits in paradise, they're even more anxious to preserve them. So human beings are anxious to preserve everlasting, whatever. So the examples we see in the universe and the way human beings are functioning with so many books being written, poetry, thoughts, ideas, movies, and then now YouTube and other social media aspects. People want to share what they want because the feeling, the enjoyment, they want to preserve that. So it's a sign to tell us that, whatever pleasure they're getting, they want to keep it. They don't want to lose that pleasure, although they know that things are changing very fast. Things are moving. People are getting old, aging. One cannot stop that. So having this awareness of the angels that are recording each and every act should comfort us, is agreeable. Would anybody like to share or talk on that?
Yes, if you don't mind, I would like.
Please go ahead.
In the first another, there were the first another and the both of them, two others. So it says who record. Then the angels who record means actions came to mind. How do you know?
They're jumping around here and there.
Yeah, but we should understand that this is narration accepted by many Muslims. Yeah, that is what the reality of the world is nowadays, as well as the Muslim world is concerned. But how do we really can make sure it is the case? There are quite a number of examples in the Quran. And following the Quranic method, Risale also, the author of these books also follow these methods and expand it, gives even more examples on the same line with the Quran. Quran says, we will, how do you say, grow you out of earth. Grow you like a plant.
See,
how do you say the plants are coming?
Sprout.
I don't know the word in English.
Sprouting or
sprouting like the plants too from the earth. So this example tells us that we have to pay attention to how the plants are coming out from the earth. For example, the seed splits or it really gets soft in the wet atmosphere, wet soil, and then one side goes below, the other side goes above. Who is arranging it? But what is going to happen to me? Which way is up? Which way is down? Who knows it? Even I wouldn't know it with my consciousness. That if I am in the earth, I don't know which way is up, which way is down to come to the cover. But we know that we are our attention is drawn to how this is arranged. Look at this, and from one cell in the not whole seed or whole kernel, or how do you say,
kernel,
seed or kernel? How the big the sprout is not, everybody knows nowadays, is not coming out of the whole seed or whole herb or whatever you call it, grain, but coming out of one cell. The others are food for this cell. Used as fat, for example, for fruit seeds, it is just fat. So they are used, this one. Even the egg, and sometimes you see that one cell is fertilized and developed, and then when you break the egg, you see something is really developing in it. Small, very, very, very beginning of it. Maybe depending on the conditions, I would say the conditions of where the egg is. If it is in the warmer area, then it grows. That is the condition, the order of the growth. So one cell, Out of one cell, some goes down, some goes up, and the ones who go down has completely different function than the side of the same seed develops upwards, as if they know where the light is, etc. It is, when we look at it, we understand it is a miraculous creation. The one who realizes this creation is teaching me that, look, all the life of previous plant is recorded, or the previous animal is recorded in his egg, in his seed. I am recording it. All the actions of the plant or the tree is recorded in its seed, or whatever, egg.
In the cell,
In a cell.
Yes.
What is this? This is the demonstration for us. Whoever is doing this is recording your character, your actions as well. But biologically, in the cell of human sperm or human egg, it is recorded there physically, but it is a sign that my actions must be recorded as well. This action is described in this text taking place as an angelic side of the universe, pointing to this reality, telling me, because angels are the transformers of God's manifestation of God's names into the physical form. So a kind of creature, which we can generally use the name angel, is recording it. So we understand, rather than taking the tradition on your right shoulder, these are symbolic. Symbolic teaching. People understand the symbolic teaching well, but the gist of this message, crux of this message is, it is recorded. And this recording is taking place through not material means, but angelic side of the creation. It means the command or will of the creator is manifested through execution of angels. We studied this on many occasions. Now, angels must be recording, because physically we don't see them, but must be, because we physically see in the example of creation out there, and my actions should be preserved by the same one who preserves everything in creation.
So he must have some creation that records it.
Yeah, the acts of creation are examples, signs for me, evidence for me to use and get the general idea within the conditions of this world, this universe. It must be realized through angels, because angelic side is the witness of it. Physically, I don't see any record of my actions, even including my thoughts, my understandings, etc. It is recorded there. Well, maybe we can even extend it to my intentions. Everything is recorded there. Nothing is hidden from the creator. It must be, because in the life of the tree, nothing is hidden from the creator, and the creator is demonstrating it to me by showing that, demonstrating that I'm doing it. Whoever is doing it. Can you say that a cell itself is preserving it? the end of the day, the cell is just elements, matter, particle. Yeah, matter. They don't have any conscience, any choice, any will to choose that I'm going to record all this, take the video of it, and put it into a cell. This is one thing. We have to understand that this kind of traditions, which are widely used in the Muslim community or in other community as well, but this subject is related mostly to Muslim community because belief in the hereafter is not emphasized in other religious tradition.
Right, not
when they don't talk, for example, belief in the hereafter. Not much in Judaism. They even some scholars, Jewish scholars, say we don't know, but there must be something like that. I was seeing a video from a rabbi saying that it must be said, but doesn't really give biblical evidence for it. But it doesn't mean that the Torah and the Bible deny this reality. But Quran is emphasizing a lot on it. Belief in angel, belief in the hereafter. So the author says, if they are recorded, for what? There must be a purpose.
So they must be shown.
So, but we don't see the result of it.
Not here.
So the recordings are preserved so that when the time comes, here you are. Your reality is this. It is not forgotten. It is not lost. It means.
Right.
That's what you should understand. You emphasize on the importance of anxiety. We want the result. And we are very anxious what the result will be for me, for example. We always say in these discussions, I don't want to repeat again, but just give a reference to it and live it. Okay. Whatever the feelings we have,
right,
must be given on purpose, because our creation is not accidental, cannot be accidental. So there must be a purpose in it. If there is a purpose, what does it mean? It will be shown. It will be demonstrated one day. We are very anxious about our future. Even when you do something, for example, apply for a job, aren't you anxious about the result if you really want the job? No, when it's coming, when it's coming,
when do I hear
so that? It is with you.
Yeah.
But this anxiety, this sense of anxiety is given to us in order to extend it into our next life, another life. Because in this life, we don't see any employment. I applied for it, but there is no result, practically speaking. So why do I have this sense of anxiety, excitement, anxiousness, whatever you call it? Why do I have it? So I'm not going to see it, leave it alone. No, you can't. You cannot improve. It is with you. It is ingrained in your nature, in your creation. These are all evidence that definitely we will be taken into account one day. It means it is a good news. I will be taken into account. So my really account may be terrible or something, but at the same time, I'm not going to be annihilated. Oh, that's a good news.
Very good.
But I'm not sure about my position. Hey, get ready. God is not asking us to be perfect. God is asking us to do our effort as much as we can. And when we fail, don't fall into despair. Just ask for forgiveness and decide to do it, to practice it. So when, for example, if I am accused of something, I shouldn't say, everybody tells me that I am lazy, for example, or I don't know, I'm not successful in doing anything. Rather than falling into despair, we have to say, oh, I'm sorry. The people are telling me I'm not successful. I'm not using my capacity enough.
Mm.
So my job must be perfect as much as possible. So people are reminding me, thank you, and astaghfirullah for my past, start a new life. That's what we have to do. Otherwise, we cannot get ready for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
So the reality of the existence of hereafter is a sign for me for hope, but if only I ask for forgiveness for my mistakes. Not that I shouldn't make any mistake.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we have to be very careful. God is not saying that you shouldn't make any mistake. No, no, no. Don't deny and ask for forgiveness. The Quran is full of this news. Two things. Don't deny, confirm the truth. For your shortcomings, ask for forgiveness. And straight yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Make it as much as possible. So no one is expected to be faultless. But ego says, I am faultless. How dare to criticize me? That's ego, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was good. Okay, so if anybody has any comment, they can go, tell us, share anything. So then the worldly had isolated me from everything to do with social life and kept me from all my books, friends, assistants, and the things that console me. And I was being crushed by the desolation of exile, and my empty world was tumbling down all around me. One of the many fruits of belief in the angels came to my assistance. It cheered me up the universe and my world. It cheered up the universe. It cheered up the universe and my world, filling my world with angels and spirit beings and making my world laugh for joy. Filling my world with angels and spirit beings and making my world laugh for joy. The reference, I think, to some hadith, Al-Tirmidhi, Musnad, Ibn Majah.
We don't know.
It showed too that the worlds of the people of misguidance weep in desolation. The worlds of the people of misguidance weep in desolation, emptiness, and darkness. While enjoying the pleasures of this fruit, my imagination plucked one of the numerous fruits of belief in the prophets, which resembles it. While enjoying the pleasures of this fruit of the belief in angels, my imagination plucked one of the numerous fruits of belief in the prophets, which resembles that fruit, pleasure of the belief in angels, and tasted it. Then suddenly my belief that all the prophets of the past were as though living, all the prophets were living, and my assent to them lit up those times and made my belief universal and expanded it and set thousands of signatures to their teachings concerning belief in the prophet of the end of time. Peace be upon him. Silencing the Satans. Then a question occurred to me.
If you can understand this passage, I think we can read it. I didn't understand.
Okay. So he's sure, yeah. So at some point he was going through some worldly concerns. The worldly had isolated me from everything to do with social life, kept me from. So he was, I guess, in a exile somewhere, kept alone. And I was crushed by the desolation of exile. My empty world was tumbling down. So he was in a situation where the fruit of belief in the angels helped him to gain confidence and come back to his senses. Worse, and my world, filling it with angels and spirit beings and making my world laugh for joy. Okay, so now it says, so this world which is filled with angels and spirit beings shows that the worlds of the people of misguidance, because the worlds of the people of misguidance, or the ones who don't recognize the meaningful aspect of life, of this universe, then ends up in desolation, emptiness, and darkness. While enjoying the pleasures of this fruit, of the belief in angels, so my imagination plucked one of the numerous fruits of belief in the prophets. So while he's benefiting from the angels and spirit beings, he also picked up a fruit of the belief in the prophethood, or belief in the prophets, which he says resembles the belief in angels. As if to the human life, to the human being, it should make a difference if we live with the awareness of the prophets and the angels and spirit beings. Makes it of a meaningful living. Then suddenly my belief that all the prophets of the past were as though living. So living. So the message must be living. And my assent to them, living up to those times, and made my belief universal and expanded it, and set thousands of signatures to their teachings concerning belief in the prophet of the end of time, peace be upon him. So all the previous prophets confirming what the message of the prophet, peace be upon him, is, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, silencing the Satans. So he's connecting the belief in the angels, and now he brings in the belief in the prophets.
I think they are connected.
Because both are giving meaning to human life. Message bearers, prophets are also message bearers, angels too.
Yeah, there is a direct communication or compatibility between belief in angels and belief in prophethood. Prophethood, the message. The prophets are the only ones who, it means prophetic tradition is the only source of information about God's absolute, the Creator's absoluteness, one, and angelic side of the universe connected directly to the Creator and witnessing God's perfectness, absoluteness. So the author is, we have noticed that now mixing up, combining together angels the belief in angels and the prophets, and saying that all the prophets are alive. Why? Not bodily. Everybody knows that.
Right, the message.
So the message. The prophet represents the message. So what we see here in this passage, prophet's message mentions about what? But what essentially the prophetic message really
contains or consists of?
No. contain.
Mhm.
The prophetic message contains. What does it contain? What is the main subject in prophetic message?
Belief in God, belief in the hereafter, belief in
From
divine
the
determination.
creation.
Mhm.
Not how many stars are there.
Mhm.
Not what is the speed of light or speed of the revolving of the earth.
Mhm.
It is revolving, that's it.
Right.
Who is doing that? How can I know that? What does it mean for me? So the way the universe is created or brought into existence gives me the angelic side, we call it. It means the meaning transferred to me in creation. The prophets bring the message, taking the evidence from these meanings in creation, demonstrating them as evidence, and really conveying the message to me of God in verbal form. So there is a converging point between the meaning of the creation and content of the prophetic message. Both of them are referred to the sort of existence, describing the will of the sort of existence for in the creation manifesting, and in my creation manifesting, because I am the created being, a created being within the universe, and giving me guidance, how can I utilize, how I should utilize myself according to the purpose of my existence. Nothing alien, nothing really supernatural or totally abstract. Do you see the meaning? Yeah. For example, if someone, you ask the person to do a job for you, if he does it perfectly, what does it mean? I am I am the master of this job. If you need again, call me. Yeah?
Right.
So it is a way of the work itself is a way of communicating with us, transferring some news to me. And maybe the man also says that, look, if you need me, call me. But you say, don't worry. Look at this perfect work, for example. If it is perfect, if you find anyone who does a perfect job. So if it is perfect, I understood. This perfect work tells me.
Right.
If I need it again, I will just call you. Look, two ways of speech. So the prophets, or the prophetic message, of course, as long as the message in the creation is alive, prophetic message is alive. You understand? Now, the message
the
side
creation,
of the universe is in the language of the Quran, angel. Now, the book, this book that we are reading now, the author of this book died away, but we are in connection with him. We say, mashallah, this author explains something good to me. Or if we don't like it, you say, no, it is not good. I'm still in communication with him through what? Not the paper. The meaning inscribed in it, exactly the universe. The meaning inscribed in it speaks to me. This is a conscious speech, is what I mean. It means meaningful speech must be conscious. So this meaningful aspect of the universe must be conscious existence. We cannot say that it doesn't exist. If it didn't exist, how could I communicate with the author through the meaning reflected in paper, on paper? There must be another level of existence that materially is not observable for me, but intellectually, consciously is always with me, without time bound. As long as a book is here, author is here. Bodily, what am I going to do with the body of the author?
Yeah.
Here, Nursi, for example. What am I going to do with them? If Nursi's body is next to me,
Yeah.
I will look at him in other way. But
So
mine,
the work and the meaning is what makes my communication.
The knowledge he has, either by way of speech, voice, wave, or writing, must be transferred to me so that I would understand what it has in his mind. So let's speak in a symbolic way. What is in the mind of the universe is inscribed in its meaning, and we are always communicating with the wise of the universe, mind of the universe, so that this author who loaded the mind in the creation of the universe is always present with me. Look at the beauty of belief in angels. Isn't that so? He said, it saved me somewhere here.
Definitely.
I asked that. So the fruits of believing the angels came to my assistance. So all the despair, because he was in exile and he was prohibited to take any friend, any books with him, only they could not really stop him carrying the Quran. That's it. All the eyewitnesses, he used to tell us personally, well, yeah, there was nothing with Steve, only the Quran and some forms of taken from the Quran prayer books. In his prayer book, etc. And this is one, two, that's it. And no really the books of Islamic knowledge or heritage. But he used to study them heavily before he was sent to exile. It was in his mind. So must be. That's why he can write these books. So he didn't know he wouldn't be able to write it. But he must be prepared for it. But this is something. Everything is taken away from him. He was just really left in isolation. He said, I don't mind. I am not isolated. All the prophets are with me. All the angels are with me, communicating with me. Wow.
I have a question. I would just say that that's good for him. Like if he was able to do that and find a solution for his isolation, good for him. So he did whatever he had to do, and he found a way to live a life that was fulfilling for himself. But like I have been listening to like what you guys have been discussing. I think at the like theoretical level, I think I understand. But if you take it like as he described, that he was in a dissolution and he was in a dark moment, he felt all that like anxiety or whatever, despair. So I mean, he's going through some sort of like spiritual, like not awakening, but like spiritual dilemma or despair. So if we are to make this like more practical, so like it's all good that okay, there are angels, so there are prophets that can speak to the true nature of this universe, which is the meaningful side of it, which is represented by angels. And these are all good, but I'm gonna wake up in the morning and I'm gonna go to work. And let's say like that work experience is very despairing for me. So what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to really take this, whatever being discussed here, and how am I supposed to really implement that in my own life, that I will be able to find the peace and the happiness that he was able to attain based on his understanding of whatever he's discussing in the subject. So in practical terms, like, yeah, I know angels exist, and I think I'm pretty convinced that God exists.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also pretty convinced that in order for man to be able to have some sort of connection with the creator of this universe, there should be someone who actually practiced that is able to pass it down to the other people. But yet still, I have to wake up in the morning and go to work and deal with a lot of people that I don't want to deal with. So, and that's my like very dark and despair moment. So how am I supposed to take this like very theoretical piece of information and make it my own? That's the question.
I understand. That's a very practical question. So practically, what are we going to do with this information that we are learning in this text? That's what I gathered. I think while we are going to work, we are within the university. Why the author is sharing his feelings, his understanding, just to give an example, saying that, look, I am a man, you can do it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Try. So you can be always, while you are going to work and working, even with the unpleasant atmosphere, as always the work atmosphere is unpleasant. So no one enjoys it. So we take it as unpleasant, but just remember, as the text is telling us, this is a creation, and I have to look at the angelic side of it, the message bearing side of it. That is why we are here to learn, and the author is sharing his experience with us. It is saying, the author is saying, it is doable, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can also do it. But maybe the realization level may be different, but at least is showing us the path. For example, if a person studying a certain discipline, science or social science, whatever discipline, at a certain level, but there may be a professor, maybe it's an example, I don't know whether the author is the professor and we are the high school students. Mm-hmm. I'm not naming that example. So there will be a professor, is the expert on the subject, and he's sharing his experience of learning, let's say, chemistry. And I am a high school student, I will say, okay, I will go ahead, I can learn as well, Not saying that I'm not a professor, I cannot do it in the perfect way. As long as we exist in the universe, and as long as we experience the world, we should learn, we need to learn the meaningful side of the universe and communicate with it, because our consciousness, our intellect always look for the meaning, for the purpose in existence. And everything in the universe is meaningful. So these meanings transfer the angelic side of the universe, therefore information about the qualities of its creator. And when I am with this information, if I don't really ignore it, I don't have to be a very knowledgeable man, but conscious man, aware. I may be even illiterate, but if I am aware that the universe is conveying something to me, there is a meaning. So this meaning is the revelation of the knowledge of the Creator, capacity of the Creator, giving me the information about the Creator. So as long as I am learning, communicating, keeping in mind the meaningful side of the universe, paying attention to the meaningful side of the universe, I am with the angels, I am with the prophetic message, and therefore they all connect me to the Creator. I am with my Creator. Why? He is always speaking to me in the creation. Mm-hmm. Now, you don't have to, I mean, it's better to listen and learn and communicate through the Quran as well. It is the speech of the Creator as much as we understand. It is better, but you don't have to listen to the Creator in order to hear His voice. Or listen to the Quran in order to hear His voice. You can look and communicate through the creation, still you are hearing His voice transferred to you, not by mushaf or recitation, but by meaningful side of the universe, which means angelic side of the universe. If only I don't really refer, when I speak to angels, something separate from something like, I don't know, how do they call it? Fairy tales? Is it correct?
Yeah.
Fairy tales.
Or metaphysical.
Yeah, something metaphysical being flying up and down and doing something unexpectedly, coming to your kitchen and cleaning doing the dishes while you are sleeping in the morning, you find them shining, clean. No, it is just not real at all. It is made up story, but it is the desire, it shows the desire of human beings that such things must exist. That is a desire. But we are talking really about the reality of the universe now, not an imaginary phantom things. But that is how we should bear in mind, inshallah.
Inshallah.
We need to educate ourselves. That's what we are here.
Inshallah. All right. So any other comments on this? Set thousands of signatures to teaching concerning belief in the Prophet of the end of time, silencing the Satans. Then a question occurred to me, the decisive answer to which is included in the 13th flash about the wisdom in seeking refuge with God from Satan. The wisdom in seeking refuge with God from Satan. In meaning, it asked me, the people of guidance are assisted and strengthened by innumerable sweet fruits and benefits like these. The fine results of good deeds and the most merciful of the merciful's compassionate succor and assistance. So why are they frequently defeated by the people of misguidance? And sometimes 20 or 100 of them are routed. While pondering over this, I recalled the mobilizations and angels in the Quran in the face of Satan's feeble machinations, and Almighty God sending assistance to the people of belief. Since the Risale Nur has explained the purpose and wisdom of this with decisive proofs, we shall here allude to it only briefly. So, right, let's see how he explains this. For example, the people of guidance versus the satanic ideas that they're faced with, and they get defeated by that, frequently defeated by the people of misguidance. So let's see how, although the Satans, he says, whatever their schemes are, very weak, feeble, non-existent even, but yet. So yes, sometimes in the face of a single vandal trying to set fire to a palace which 100 men have made, the palace can remain standing only through 100 men protecting it, and by having recourse to the government and the king. For its existence is possible only through the existence of all its conditions and causes. So the existence of the palace. For its existence is possible only through the existence of all its conditions and causes, but its non-existence and destruction may occur through the non-existence of a single condition. So if the king or government is not there, then the palace will not be able to stand. So all the conditions have to be there for the palace to stand. Just as the palace may be burned to the ground by a layabout with a single match, so with some small actions, Satans from among jinn and men cause vast destruction and terrible non-physical conflagrations. Yes, the basis and origin of all bad evils and sins is non-existence. The basis and origin of all bad evils and sins is non-existence. It is destruction. The non-existence and destruction are concealed beneath apparent existence.
Now, this non-existence, we say non-existence doesn't exist. It means non-existence means here it's grabbed as destruction.
Mm-hmm.
For example, burning a house. You are not really taking a hammer or other, whatever they are called, the tools, knocking the building down.
Mm-hmm.
You are just putting one fire and put the house on fire, just using a match.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with this whole universe? House burns.
Mm-hmm.
That is why non-existence represents really distraction here.
Mm-hmm.
Doing nothing positive, but also non-existence represents this as well in this kind of languages. We have to be careful when we use it. In order to build a house, what you need, 2-3 years work.
Mm-hmm.
Architect works, people bring stuff, whatever the materials are used, needed. The other people install it, the other people make it perfect, etc. It takes 2 years. Just really striking a match takes what? 1 month. And this is enough to destroy the whole house. Even, I don't know whether he's going to mention here or not, gives the example of sheep, of a sheep. How many people work on the plan of the ship, engineering of the ship? How many?
Many, yeah.
Now, and also how many people are employed to make the ship really going perfectly, working perfectly, and being taken care of? How many? Hundreds. Now, and how do you say, I don't know the word, the one who really uses the wheel of the ship, sits there in the ship, and when the ship goes towards the land, it doesn't turn it, it just sits, it does nothing. What happens? What happens when the ship is going to the land, direction is to the land,
Yeah.
And the man who is responsible, the piloting the ship, I don't know the right word,
Right.
which is the right word.
Captain.
Sorry?
Captain.
Captain.
Captain of the ship.
But they don't do that
Yeah,
anymore.
okay. All right. Let's say captain. Captain of the ship or the airplane
Mhm.
doesn't turn the direction. I said, well, he says, I'm not doing anything.
Mhm.
And all the ship is destroyed, sunk.
Mhm.
They take him. Why did you do that? No, I didn't do anything. But you should have done
Something.
your job by not doing anything. You destroyed the ship. Look, this is a good example of the literal meaning of non-existence here.
Mhm.
It means I've done nothing, correct?
Mhm.
But he's telling the truth. He's done nothing.
Right.
But by neglecting it, destroys it. That is why the non-existence of an action is enough to destroy the whole thousands of the work of thousands of people. Positive.
Mhm.
But this destruction we have to understand. For example, if a man says this atom exists by itself, it doesn't have a creator.
Right.
What does it mean? The universe, numberless, innumerable number of atoms of the universe, has no creator. Destroyed the universe and made it dead, killed the universe lifeless, meaningless. In his eyes, of course, but
Mhm.
destruction is so easy by saying that, look, here is the universe, and I don't know, I haven't seen any creator, so it doesn't have a creator. That's it.
Mhm.
What happens? For him, the universe becomes total, stupid, meaningless mass. Purposeless,
Mhm.
meaningless mass. Right? Looking at the book and saying that it doesn't have any information. It's just paper.
Mhm.
Because I am supposed to read to get information by saying that I don't read it. Non-existent. Non-existent activity, action causes what? Deny the author and meaning, all meaning inscribed in the book.
Mhm.
Because I didn't see the author. Well, there is nothing in it, there is no author. I say, because I don't see the author here in the book,
Mhm.
how can I really say that this is a work, meaningful work, or there is information? I don't see information, but by not
Yeah.
reading the book, we are reducing the book to paper. All information is killed, dead.
Right.
That's why we are killing the universe. That's why the angels said, are you going to create a man on earth
creating corruption.
who is going to shed blood?
Yeah.
No, it means blood of the universe is dead in the eye of some unbelievers, disbelieving people.
Mm.
By not doing anything, saying, I don't know. I'm not saying there must be a creator of this universe. By not doing anything. That's what we have to understand. The nature of destruction is equal to the nature of non-existence.
Mhm.
Okay.
Of neglecting, of not doing anything, that's equally as destruction.
Let's finish the paragraph. What do you think?
Yes, so yes, it is destruction. The non-existence and destruction are concealed beneath apparent existence. So they're concealed beneath apparent existence. So the choices, options are there. Not doing something, although it can be doable, is in existence, but somebody chooses not to. So thus relying on this point, Satans from among jinn and men and evil beings withstand an infinite force with an extremely weak force, driving the people of truth and reality to continually seek refuge at the divine court and to flee to it. The Quran therefore mobilizes great forces for their protection. It gives for their use 99 divine names and commands them sternly to withstand those enemies. So staying idle, not doing anything, and not seeing the meaning.
The following paragraph is also directly related to, I think we covered.
You think so?
Yeah. Let's read the paragraph.
Let's read, yeah, okay. From this answer became apparent the tip of a vast truth and basis of an awesome matter. It was like this. Just as paradise bears the crops of all the worlds of existence and produces the eternal shoots, of the seeds grown in this world.
Yeah, it's eternal shoots of the seeds grown in this world. Paradise is this.
Just as paradise bears the crops of all
meaning
the
becomes
world.
in the form of a permanent existence.
From the seeds in this world.
Yeah, from the same seed of the meaning of the universe.
So in order to display the grievous consequences of the innumerable, terrible worlds of non-existence and nothingness, hell scorches up the products of that non-existence.
Yeah, that's a good conclusion.
And among its other functions, that terrible factory cleanses the universe of existence of the filth of the world of non-existence. So all that destruction is cleaned up, filth of the world of non-existence. For now, we shall not open the door of this awesome matter. God willing, it shall be elucidated later.
So by denying the meaning of the book, we reduce the book to paper, paper sheets. So hell is the paper sheet.
Hell is the
paper sheet. Without the books, paper, papers.
So it becomes hell.
Yeah, but the meaning is paradise.
I see.
Representation. It's an example.
Yeah.
So, for example, destruction represents or gives result in hell. It means hell is the place of
cleansing,
not receiving what we want, lacking of it.
Right.
Our desires, our feelings desire eternal happiness. Hell means a creation. There is no happiness. Everything increases your need. Because God will say, okay, what you said, nature, it is everything nature. Okay, ask nature. Give you fruit or happy life.
Right.
I will satisfy your need at your nature because it doesn't exist. So saying that doesn't represent the nature. Nature doesn't represent any reality, just an abstract notion which has no meaning. In the universe, there is a nature. What does it mean? There is nature. What does it mean? Nature is doing everything. What does it mean? Mother Nature. Okay. Within the universe.
Right.
But meaning of the universe, the book, meaning information written in the book, represents an author, intelligent author. If I say there is no meaning, it represents nothing. Hell is nothing. Consists of nothing. The text says non-existence.
Yeah.
Non-reality. It's a very good explanation of the hell. Otherwise, if you say hell is fire, etc., we start imagining why God is so angry with me. No, he's not angry. He's not angry. He just says, okay, since you denied the author and the meaning, and therefore the author, okay, you need knowledge. Here is your paper. Eat it. You need knowledge. That's the need and what it is what it is applied. Here is knowledge, and there is no knowledge. Here is the paper. As the Quran says, describes, the food of there is something you eat, and it increases your hunger. You eat the paper, it increases your hunger. It doesn't satisfy you anything. That's hell. But if we say this is that the hell is fire, etc., as the described, it means human feelings will be as if it is in fire, in complete despair and lost. For example, you say, you know what happened? Something happened to me horrible. I am really burned by it. But this feeling of this, it means fire represents the burning desire, but never satisfaction. Otherwise, well, I cannot imagine this literal understanding of the description of paradise and hell as really representing paradise and hell. But we have to understand from the angelic side of the creation. Otherwise, matter is meaningless to me. A matter in and of itself is meaningless, like the paper of the book.
Right.
Well, what am I going to do with it? Inshallah.
Inshallah. So did he answer the question that he was thinking of in the people of guidance?
There is no perfect answer.
RSS, right. So he just makes the point about how we understand this.
Yeah, we have to bring this idea into
our lives. So for us to implement, inshallah, yeah. All right, I think we can take a break here, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So we'll continue with the angels topic, Munkar and Nakir, inshallah, next time. Thank you, everyone. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma alamtana innaka anta alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati suratil Fatiha. Bi hurmati suratil Fatiha. Alhamdulillah.